Hello, my crafty friends. Lisa here. Welcome to What's Crafting Wednesday. And again, actually on Wednesday, I'm so happy to have you join me tonight. We're going to first start, of course, with our drawing from last week. I made a duplicate card from the prior week, which I'll just pull over here. 2 weeks ago, I did a triple time stamping with the retiring 2024 to 2026 in colors. And then last week, I made the same card, but in the new 2026 to 2028 in colors. So let's get our names in here for our drawing for these two in color triple time stamping cards. And I have a ticket here, and our winner is Jennifer. Well, congratulations, Jennifer. I have these two cards here for you. Okay, everyone, tonight I'm also going to be doing a card with the new in colors. A very simple card, which is in the new catalog. And I had actually overlooked this card looking through here until the other evening. I was on an online Stampin' Up! Event with the home office, and this card was created during the event. So I'm going to show it to you. It is on page 13, and it is this card right here. You can do it with any DSP, any colors. So I am doing it with our new in colors. Very easy to make, and it actually is a good card to make to use up your DSP scraps. So let's get started. I'll be using 2 stamp sets this evening. I'm using the new Playful Packaging, which is in a new catalog, and I just used the Just Because sentiment. And I'm using the Be My Valentine, which is carrying over. And I'm using the flower stems and flower. And that is for the inside of the card, the envelope, and the envelope flap. So tell me, what do you think about that? All right, let's get started. I have my, make sure I have my pieces, yes, my basic white envelope. I have 2 pieces of basic white cardstock, 4 by 5 1/4. So I'll put one aside for the inside, and I have one for the front. And then I have my strips of DSP, and these are cut at 3 by 7/8. and 3 1/4 by 3/8. And the Peaceful Pine cardstock, it is 4 1/4 by 11, and we're going to score this at 5 1/2. And that is all of our scoring tonight. Just fold this and give it a nice crease. And I'll put this off to the side. And what we're doing, this card has dimension going on here. I hope you can see it. The first piece, the first DSP is adhered flush to the card front, and this strip is with dimensionals, and the next piece is reversed. So this piece is with dimensionals, and this piece is flush, and then we reverse, and then we have our sentiment on the bottom. So let's get started with this super easy card. So we will first glue our pieces together. So let me just get these in order here. Have the colors match up. Okay, so the first strip is flush to the card, so we're going to put dimensionals on the little thinner strip. So I am using the mini dimensionals here. And you don't want to put the dimensional all the way to the edge because the DSP strip is a little longer than the one it's going to be matted on. So you don't want the dimensional to hang over that. And let me just get these backings off. And we're going to assemble all of these first, and then we will assemble the card front. That's just so that we have the placement right on the card. Now, in the online event the other evening, they did tear the ends. I opted not to do that with mine, but you of course could. So just put that layer on top there. And now this one here we will be gluing on. And remember, not all the way to the edge because it will hang over a little bit. And also I alternated with the strip from right to left down and then left to right down. And then this one here again will have the dimensionals. So this is a cute card to make. It's very easy. And also, if you have a lot of leftover DSP, it's a great way to use it up and not waste it. I can picture this making a very pretty Halloween or Christmas card. All right, now we're going to go the opposite way again. And then this one here we will glue on. And this glue is almost empty, and I was smart enough to put a backup out, which since I have it ready, I probably won't need. All right, and then we need to put the larger dimensionals on these backings here. Probably surprised. You'd think I'd be using more than that. I do hope I'll be able to sleep tonight. Okay, so now we need to position these on here so that we can stamp our sentiment. So I'm just going to spread them out a little bit. Because we need to have it positioned and then remove this one so we can stamp because of the dimension. That could affect your stamping if it popped up with the dimensionals. Okay, so I'm going to stamp in Peaceful Pine because that's the color I'm using for the card base. And I just did a Just Because sentiment so that you can use this card for anything you like. Just because, hello, thank you, birthday. I'm going to put this where, I'm just going to move it down a little so I could see better. Just going to put it about where I want it, and then I'm going to move this away, and then I'm going to stamp. And now we can put the card together. So the first one will be glued flush to the card front. And then the next one will remove the backing on the dimensionals. So this is a different idea. Each piece has dimension, but each one is different. The top is dimensional. The next one, the bottom is dimensional. Let's see if that looks straight. I think so. And now this one will glue again. And we'll get rid of these backings. So this is a very easy card to make, and if you didn't want to decorate the inside or the envelope, it's minimal stamping with just that one sentiment there. And now we'll adhere this to the front of the card. And some embellishments. I have the new In Color, those are just called In Color dots, and they come in 2 sizes. If I can get this open, we'll be using it. Now this year's In Colors have 2 different embellishments. They have these dots, and there are butterflies. So I'm just going to peel some of these off. And then I scattered some of the larger ones on here as well. Let me see, we'll just make it look the same. Put that there. And that one about there. And now the blue one I had put up there. So that is the front of our card. Easy peasy, right? And now we will do the inside. So I'm just stamping the leaves, the stems across here 4 times, and then we will add the flowers to it. So I'm going to stamp it off a little bit on the bottom so that the flowers aren't growing in the air. Put that one there, and then I'm going to put the other one over on the right side, so then I have the placement for the 2 in the middle. And while that one's still in my hand, I'll put it over here. So what I did was, it's 2 different types of stems, and I just alternated them. And now we will do each of the colors for the flowers. And I'm going lighter to darker, so I don't even need to clean the stamp off between each flower. And I'm really liking these new ink pads. I really like the style of it. And the magnetic, it has been working out very well stamping. And it's so easy to use with these new tops the way they open. So anyone that had trouble with the previous compact type ones, I think you'll be very pleased with these new ones. Now I am going to clean the flower stamp now, because we will be stamping the flowers again on the front, on the envelope. So we will add this to the inside of the card. And then we're going to put a little embellishing on the inside here too. I put a small dot in the center of each flower. And that is our card. And now we will work on the envelope. This was my first one. Here's the one we just did. So I did one flower on the front. And then we'll add the bloom on here. And then we will flip the envelope over and do the back. So now again, we will stamp the stems first, and then we will add the flowers. And then you can eye it so that you can space the other two in the center. And lastly, we will do our flowers. And these leaves do, the stems, they do point in opposite directions, so you can stamp them whichever way you want. I actually just stamp them the way I grabbed the stamp, not really thinking about which way they were going. That, my crafty friends, is tonight's card. So here is my sample that I had ready. The envelope flap. And then here's the one that we just did live. Okay, my crafty friends, I hope you enjoyed tonight's card. Let me know what you think about the new in colors now that you've had a chance to start seeing them. And let me know if you have a favorite yet. I still say that Crisp Cantaloupe and Hydrangea Hue are my favorites from the new colors. But I'd love to know what yours are. But I have to say, this new green, the, oh my goodness, Peaceful Pine? Peaceful Pine, yes. Real, I know I've said it before, but it really is a very nice green. All right, everyone. Thank you again so much for joining me this week. Leave some love. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about tonight's card. If you would do something like this with your DSP scraps. Any thoughts on the new in colors? I'd love to know. And what you think about the envelope and the inside of the card. Okay, my crafty friends, have a wonderful week. Please make sure you get inky, and I'll see you back here next Wednesday. Thanks, everyone. Bye.